guys, Tiffany here of Tiffany Gordon Cosplay, and today VIVOHOME sent me their 110 to 120 volt airbrush machine kit with 1/5 HP air compressor and airbrush gun, which I'm gonna review for you. And I'll have a link in the description for this airbrush gun and compressor kit so you can get it yourself if you want. And a little bit about me for those that are new to my channel. I've been airbrush painting for a few years now, doing very large props and cosplays like this. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see the rest of my tutorials. Now let's begin. So for this kit, it comes in the mail in one box that is for the air compressor as well as the gun inside. It has a manual for both pieces as well. And before I get into details on everything about these pieces, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna do this video in two parts. One for the compressor and one for the airbrush gun, and you'll see at the end why. So let's first start by talking about the compressor. This compressor is actually a really nice one for a basic airbrush kit. It has everything that you want in a basic compressor, where you have a little handle to help hold it, on and off switch. You have an adjustable pressure control, as well as a dual tank setup, which is really nice because then you can do your airbrush gun and paint while it's quiet, and then once it goes through that, it'll start running again after, so you don't have to constantly hear it. It also has suction cups at the bottom, which will help it from not vibrating around and keeps it quiet as well. It has on the side an air release valve, so that way when you're done, you can release all the air from the tank, as well as in the front, it has a button at the bottom to help get all of your condensation out, which is really nice. For the hose that comes in the kit, it's a standard basic hose. It's not really long, but it'll work for a startup compressor. And I had no issues with the thread from the hose to the compressor, as well as the threading from the hose to the airbrush gun, but it does come with some extra little white tape to help in case there is any slight misthreading. Now for the airbrush gun. And it comes in its own case, as well as it comes with a nozzle spanner, which is a little device for taking apart one of the very tiny tools, as well as a little poof cleaner and a hose adapter. And for me, I have used a wide variety of airbrush guns, of basic to really expensive ones, and I really want to see what's on the inside, so I ended up taking it apart just to see all of the quality of each part. And for the most part, it all seemed fine, except for the very front part. The threaded section underneath the nozzle cap seemed to be a bit kind of corroded-ish, which was a little concerning because this was supposed to be new. And one other thing that I didn't quite like about this design, just because I know for cleaning it, it'll have problems, is the tiny little nozzle part comes off, but not the full golden piece on the inside, and that's gonna make it down the road very difficult to clean. And it also has an O-ring that attaches to this part that you'll have to take on and off every time for cleaning, so you'll have to be careful not to lose that. But here are all the parts that are for the gun, standard stuff for an airbrush gun, and then to put it all back together. And that's all of the pieces that comes with this kit. Now to test it all out. And we're first gonna again talk about the compressor. And for it, the size is a medium size. On the far left is what I actively use. The middle one is this specific compressor that we are reviewing. And then on the far right is what your typical airbrush starter kit compressor comes with. Sound-wise for the compressor, it is not loud at all. So I really liked that. And it was easy to control the air pressure for the gun, and overall for the compressor, I'm really happy with it, giving it almost a perfect 5 score. And now for the airbrush gun, which I couldn't fully test it out because it ended up breaking. I tested it out on a few EVA foam samples using my standard airbrush paint and also thinning it out so that way it could easily go through the tip of the nozzle. It seemed like it had no problems at first. It had a good medium-sized spray to it so you could easily cover a lot of surface at once. And after using it for a while, it ended up getting harder for the paint to go through. So normally when that happens, you normally have something stuck, a little piece of paint on the inside. So I ended up stopping painting and going inside to clean it out and see if I could find whatever it was that was in it. And when taking it apart, I went to do the nozzle with the special tool, started taking it off, and it broke off the threaded system inside the airbrush gun. Yeah. And this is a part that you can replace probably pretty easily by finding some parts on Amazon, but this was the first time using it, and I was already having questionable doubt on some of the threaded parts before I even had used it. So yeah. So long story short, I can't really recommend this gun part of the kit, but the compressor was wonderful, but the quality of the gun made it seem like it had been sitting in a warehouse for a long time, and yeah. I did reach back to the company and they did offer to replace it, but as a full kit, and I asked if they could just send the gun as a replacement and not the compressor, because I didn't need another compressor, but that was the end of the communication there. So yeah. But if you would still like to buy this airbrush gun and compressor kit, I will have a link for you in the description. Just be warned of issues I had. Might just be a fluke that I received a bad product and the rest of them might be fine. But that's basically my review for this airbrush gun and compressor kit. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for our next review video or tutorial video.